Hello and welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the technical analysis of Bitcoin mining stocks. We're going to go through a bunch of these in the top 10, maybe one or two outside of the top 10. Let's get into it. Because these are stocks, it's important to take a look at the stock fear and greed index, which is in neutral. But because these are miners and they act like altcoins, we also want to take a look at crypto fear and greed. And as you can see, that with crypto fear and greed, we're still making lower highs, lower lows. So is it possible that Bitcoin just had a local top around 102K and that we're going to have this phenomenon known as the inauguration dump after the Santa rally and presidential pump? It is possible. Don't be surprised if a scenario like this happens. However, we will see in non-inauguration years, we can still see cryptos go up. And that is what has happened before in quarter one and quarter two of the post-halving years. So it depends, up to you which side you want to take. But if we do see downward sideways price action, do know that's not necessarily a bad thing. That'll just give you more time for deals and discounts. As we talk about miners, they do act like altcoins, and a chart to pay attention to is Bitcoin dominance. That is the overall percent of money that in the crypto space it's in Bitcoin. And when that money rotates, or has the past two cycles, when it rotates out near the end, that's when you see these spikes in alt season, and when some of the altcoins can take off and do a 5x, a 10x or so. A lot of them already have since the very bottom, so do keep that in mind. But that is something to watch out for. Another indicator to watch out for to see is this. I try to answer this question every video. Is now a better time to buy or sell, take profits? We're kind of at the higher end, or at least in the middle higher end. So anyone new here to the crypto space, I know crypto has been very exciting recently. Do know you're coming in at more of an elevated risk time. So you're going to be more so, quote unquote, educated gambling. I don't encourage that at all. I do encourage whatever altcoins or miners, any stocks that you are interested in, research them. Take a look at the good and the bad. Try to have an open mind, unbiased view of it, and if you like it, have a small list of them and just pay attention to the price. That way, you'll be able to get in at some of the discounts. I do preach about discounts here, and we try to use here in market psychology, we try to use emotion as an indicator, not a decision maker. Most retail uses emotion as a decision maker, and when everything's feeling good, you like to buy in good, and then you're left holding bags for a while. So once Bitcoin dominance is going down, once alt season spiking, and Bitcoin is getting up in these orange areas, I think you have to be extremely careful, because in the past, you see this downward pattern here in these rainbow chart bands. Subscribe if you want to hear more about that every week. That is when there's been massive profit taking. So do be careful with that. Again, here are a lot of the miners we're going to be taking a look at. And let's jump into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, you can see here, it's still at the 1618 and the double top from 2021. So I have this trend line from 2021. The 1618 is right here. So I drew a fib. That's the tool right here from the macro prior high to low. Took that fib off log. That's how we get our 1618 price target. There's also this trend line coming up right here. And if we take a look on the daily, and y'all can see this trend line has been the one that Bitcoin's been in love with since the very bottom. But if we take a look at this on the daily, what do we notice? Well, Bitcoin's not been able to get above the 1618 at around 102K. Once it starts closing above there with candle bodies, then I'll feel more bullish. But right now we're just chopping sideways. We do have a doji. We do have a buy signal, but again, 102K is the wall, or the ceiling, I should say, that we have to break through. But we do have the 20-day moving average. We do have this double top trend line. If we, for some reason, get underneath that, I showed you the inauguration dump scenario. Next area of support is that trend line Bitcoin's been in level since the bottom, 50-day moving average. And then you also have the former all-time high from 2021 and the peak from March this year, along with the 200-day moving average. So this would be max discount territory if that were to happen. But the start of discount territory for a lot of Bitcoin and altcoins would be beginning here. But we'll run through the charts and see, are any of our mining stocks at a discount right now? Right now, Bitcoin dominance still coming down, making a lower high, so it might get rejected here off the Well, right now it's just not able to get above the 200-day moving average, almost wicked to the 150. So it could just be a lower high as it chops lower. And in the past, when Bitcoin dominance has tanked towards the low 40%, you guys can double check the dates right here. That's the end of December 17. That's around May of 2021. I'll show you where that is on the rainbow chart right here. And that was, again, December 17. There we go. Okay, and May 2021, give or take, there we go. So just that's why we pay attention to Bitcoin dominance. Let's get into the mining stocks. And first, we're going to jump into Marathon Digital Holdings. And Mara, we do have this giant wedge. So we have these lower highs and these higher lows. And there was a little bit of a fake out right here, lower high still. And from the all-time high area, it came down. It's resting on the 618 fib. So maybe if you really love Mara and you DCA'd here, dollar cost average, I wouldn't blame you. But deeper value would be down in the lower end of this wedge around the $17 to $19 range here. But once it breaks out, once these wedges coil up and break out, they can shoot with a lot of strength either up or down. Now, if Mara were to shoot up, something I've noted on here is that we have this double top, or not double top, but we have these two peaks, and just connecting that trend line there and seeing where a price target could be. And right here, that would be somewhere around 150 or so. As unbelievable as that sounds, something like maybe even a 6x from here. If we take a look at our fib target, the 1618, that's at about $1.30, so not too far away. But I'd say if you get above 130 to 150, that's like absolute must profit taking. And Mara, it has a market cap of around $7.5 billion. Okay, at the peak last time around, you can see it was at around 80, give or take. So Mara was almost 4 times higher, which would mean this was in the mid to high 20 billion area. Now, when I'm taking a look at another thing I take a look at for price target is what is the range I believe it could be in. This right now, it needs to update a little bit because it did have a price correction. There we go. And so if we are talking about some price targets getting to 130 to 150, right now you could say, okay, that's times 6. What would 7 times 6 be? That'd be about 42. So do you believe Mara could be 42 billion? Last time around in the last cycle in 2021, in here, the peaks for a lot of these mining stocks as far as market cap was between 20 to 30 billion. So I've been talking about this time around because we have inflation, which has devalued the dollar by 20%. So I have my targets 20% higher. And each cycle we see the price targets go up as well. So add that to it. So if the peak for market cap last cycle was 20 to 30 billion, I'm taking a look at the 30 to 50 billion dollar market cap range for some of these top miners, and that would fall right in there if this gets into the 40 billion range. Next, let's take a look at Core Scientific, or Cores. And something I want to note with y'all is that Cores, it's the second highest market cap, and it's also one of the newest, if not the newest, Bitcoin mining stock. Came out in January. Me personally, I don't touch new altcoins, new IPO stocks. I wait a year or two. And so for the next cycle, I would be more interested in Cores, but not right now. It's at a very elevated price. I would not want to be buying it right now. And maybe if you love Cores, and my bias aside, you could take a look at some DCAing here at the 50 moving average, or the 100 there at around $1.30. We have the fib here at around 1170, close to $12. But something to keep in mind, and I've taken a look at this with other mining stocks, and that is just the assets to liabilities ratio. You can go to Market Watch and type in any stock ticker. You have the financials and the balance sheet. And this is one reason I really like mining stocks, is we have more insider information on what's going on. So we have the total current assets at around 100 million and the total assets at about 712 million. Great. We want to see a positive ratio. And right now we don't. We have the total current liabilities way higher, around 500 million, and the total liabilities overall 1.3 billion. That is not a good thing. For other mining stocks like Cypher, they have a positive ratio of assets to liabilities. Whenever you're in the negative ratio, you're taking on more of a risk. So do be careful with that. Again, it's just Market Watch. You go to financials, balance sheet, you can check any of that, but I'm not touching this one. even though it is the second highest by value market cap mining stock. So that's another reason I don't touch IPOs. If you're excited about an IPO, make sure you're checking its balance sheet. Next, let's go over to Riot Blockchain. And for Riot Platforms, still in this channel, still going down. After we hit the peak there, we were talking about this, like, can it break out? No, it can't. Still lower high, still in the channel, but right now it's at the 382 fib, and it has these moving averages. So personally, if you like Riot, I don't think it's a bad play here. But again, market psychology wise, if you like Riot enough to buy it here at 11 and it falls further, whether to 10 or even lower in this channel to $7, then I think you need to love buying it there. So a lot of people, if they buy in here and it goes lower, they get pissed off and they walk away and they're like, you know what, I made a stupid play. In my opinion, if you like something enough to buy it here, then you should love getting at it more of a discount. If not, then you haven't done the right amount of research. So something to keep in mind with Riot. Let's put this on auto. And if we do connect the trend lines before from these peaks, and you can check the dates later, December 2017, and here, February 21, you all know where that is. That's here and here. We've gone over this. So these do act like altcoins. If that were to continue out or get anywhere up near that trend line, talking about Riot doing still at 15x, give or take, to get up here, seems crazy. But if that happened, again, we take, let's just take 4 billion, we'll round up. What's 4 times 15? Well, that'd be around $60 billion. So a little bit above my personal price target range for market cap. But even if it did, let's just say a 10x, if Riot did a 10x and went to 110, then we'd be talking about $37 billion. I mean, I'd be fine with either one. So again, think of market cap. You can take a look at the fibs. When you take your fib off log scale, you can take a look at the fib target. Look there, that's about 130. We have the market cap that we have in mind, and we also have the rainbow chart. So there's multiple areas to look for when some of these might be peaking, but this is just me. I would divide my profits on the way up, not just wait till the very end, just in case it doesn't get there. You do need a backup plan. Next, after Riot, let's take a look at CleanSpark. So Riot at a decent discount area that I wouldn't mind DCAing in, and CleanSpark as well. I don't think this is a bad area either. So another one where we have lower highs, higher lows. We could draw a trend line here. Why not? I'm already talking about it. I think drawing a trend line here would work better because it's hitting more of these peaks. You can argue that there was a little fake out there. So CleanSpark, it is at the 618 fib. It has all those moving averages. So I think this is a fine area to DCA. It does have this trend line below, so that could be a possible area as well. If we take a look at the weekly, as far as buy sell signals, it does have a sell signal. But again, these things can turn around really quick. You see this before this one ultimately broke down. But if this gets closer to 1270, 1260, curious to see what will happen. Is it going to go under and get to the $11 range? And if so, you could buy more. But if you don't want to miss it, I don't think this would be too bad of an area to look at either. I'm not going to go through the price action things with all these, just so you know, so we'll just move on from that one. Let's go over to BitDeer, BTDR. And of course, let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think about miners and mining stocks? So BitDeer, oh my God, this one's going crazy since 2020. So right here, we are above the former all-time high, so we want to take our fib off log scale, and would you look at that? Came right up to the 1618 at about 22 bucks. So if BitDeer is to get through that, we can see our next price targets at the 2618s at about 34, 46, and 53. And BitDeer, as far as its market cap, 3.2 billion. So again, if you're talking about a 10x going somewhere to like 33 billion, if you're thinking, what if this gets to that 30 to 50 million dollar range, and you're talking about this being at 190, seems crazy. But then we can extend out our fibs. They even have this on here for you guys. You can extend out your fibs and click them or change them, add to it, if you will. So next, let's go over to Iris Energy. And as far as Iron Limited, it is stuck at the 786. Come down to the 618 here. It is looking a little extended. We do have sort of a double top, so you could be slightly worried about that. We have this trend line as well. So let's just say, devil's argument here, bearish argument, if we were to get bearish and have an inauguration dump and this is a double top, then you could see Iris coming down here to the $3 to $6 range. But if we are just making, if we are technically making a higher high, man, that looks like a double top, or maybe we start to range or accumulate, you could wait for a discount here at about 950. So next one, let's go to TerraWolf. You got some big TerraWolf fans here in the comments. So let's take a look at Wolf. Wolf is one I like as well. We got to put this on log scale because we're way out of pocket here. All right, Wolf. So it came up to the 618. Look at that. And it is coming, probably going to come back down to, you see this 200-week moving average, but check this out. So the 50-week moving average is steaming up the 200 weeks here. We might get a golden cross soon. So something to watch out for. If Wolf comes down to this $5 area, I'd say that might not be a bad area to get some discounts in the 200-week moving average. So once it golden crosses, it doesn't mean it's just going to blast up. Sometimes there is a little bit of a correction around these golden crosses, but then they can really shoot up. So just keep that in mind. Watch this one. See if it is, whether the correction is going to come down here or if it's just going to be a minor one and then boom, it's going to start shooting off. This one has a $2.6 billion market cap. So again, if we're talking 30 to 50 billion, or heck, even a 10x, that'd be up in the $26 billion range. So something to keep in mind. Wolf, a lot of people are excited about this one. We have higher highs, higher lows. And as I look at this, not gonna lie, let's draw this out. Look at these higher highs, how they're slowly angling up each time, and the higher lows as well. Slowly angling up each time. Does it not look like it wants to shoot up there? What a horrible drawing. But it does look like it's just getting ready to just blast off. So we'll see. We'll see if this comes true. I'm such a good artist. You don't have to thank me. All right, next let's take a look at Cipher, CIFR, and Cipher Mining. It's the one I know there's people in the comments that like this one as well. Still in this wedge. It did get a little bit of resistance at this 786, and so wasn't able to get above that, lower highs. And so let's see if it comes down to these moving average. Discount territory would be at about 490 to, well, 490 lower, and then the fibs here at around 374. But let's see what happens here, how much it comes down. But otherwise, it's in this channel, and could it break out sometime soon? We'll see. Next one, let's take a look at HUT. All right, let's go over to HUT. And HUT we have not taken a look at in a while. Oh, God. I forgot to switch over to this. Here we go. So HUT we have not taken a look at in a while. Let's draw our fib out. And you can see it broke out of that wedge, came back down into it. It's a little fake out, and then boom, blasted up. And now it's using the 618 as support. So this one, I would not be buying it right now. But the start of discount territory for me would be under the $18 range, $18 on down. But right now, HUT has had a good move up, so congrats to any HUT holders. And then next, we'll just take a look at maybe a couple more. Let's do Bitfarms and BitDigital, because we've taken a look at those in the past, and then we'll call it a day. Don't have time to do all of them, but Bitfarms right here, still discount territory. So we were making these higher lows, came underneath, but it's just right now accumulating on this trend line. I think this one could be, and this one's under $1 billion. This one could be a possible play. So look at all that accumulation and hanging there at the 0.5 fib. So Bitfarms looking kind of juicy there. And as far as BitDigital, no, I typed it in wrong. What was BitDigital? BT. All right. As far as BitDigital, let's see where this one's at. So BitDigital, once this decides to load, here we go. Another channel here. So another channel coming down to the didn't quite get up to the upper end of the channel, possibly coming down to the, what's that, the 0.5 here. So discount territory, you see the 200-week moving average here. So if it were to get back underneath the 0.5, this would be deeper discount. But overall, I'd say, again, taking a look at the bigger picture, would I blame you buying here? No, not at all. I don't think this is the worst area. It is more of a premium if you're just getting into this, but if you're willing to be patient, me personally, I'd wait to see if it gets under here. No guarantee it will, but that's what I would take a look at. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think of mining stocks? What do you think of them behaving like altcoins? Are there any you like? Do you hate mining stocks? Was this the last 20 minutes that you watched just a gigantic waste of your time? If so, I apologize, but not really. Anyways, I will try to do a video on the stock market tomorrow, the Mag 7 stocks, and just where the stock market's at this week, any changes there. I'd like to take a look at that because that does affect the crypto market. And if I can, I'll try to do another live stream Friday. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.